and it's something you touched on. There's this idea that engineers are smart, and yes, they are smart. But maybe I'm going to say something that engineers are going to hate me for. But there's a saying that in engineering, your first 4 years are the best first year of your life.
Okay.
And that goes on to show how hard it is. Like, you fail. It takes multiple years just to get the first hurdle. And lawyers are also smart. They're just bad at maths. And maybe that's what I am too, just bad at maths. And that's how I was able to do the pivot. With hard work, you can achieve anything.
Okay.
And that's why it's so easy to say you can pivot.
Okay.
Because you put in the hard work. And the world is your oyster.
Yeah, I love that because I think many of us now, like right now as things stand, a lot of people are trying to pivot. A lot of people are trying to pivot out of practice, your traditional practice in law, and people are trying to explore digital careers and all of these things, right? I want you to take us through the moment you decided. So you completed your engineering degree.
No, I did not.
You didn't complete it.
I was in my first 4 years where I'm still trying to get over the first hurdle. But if I could explain myself, if my mom is watching, Mom, if you're watching, I think I always knew that engineering was not for me, but it was for the people that I wanted to make happy. You know, like your dad was like, yeah. My dad worked at a Samanco. It's a steel smelting thing.
Okay.
So he saw engineers around him and he always like, oh, these people make
This
money.
is cool. Yeah.
So when I got good marks, he was like, you know what, just try engineering. Just try it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. And I guess that's one of the privileges I had.
Oh, they gave you room to say, give it a try. But if it doesn't work out, you can always try what you really want.
Yes. And I'm really thankful for that. And it's one privilege that I know a lot of people
don't have. Sure.
Yeah, it's one shot, one go. And you have to get this degree you have. But yeah, I did engineering, and I think it was halfway through where I realized, no, I don't like this.
Do you remember that particular day? Like, what went down your mind where you're like, no?
It's when I got 18% in a chemistry exam I studied really hard for on my birthday.
What?
The mark came out. The mark came out, and I was like, you know what? No, I can't live like this the rest of my life. No, I actually want to chase my dreams. This is not it. Because if you are struggling this hard on what is supposed to be the easy years, no. Let me
It's not gonna work.
Yeah, let me go where I think I'm going to enjoy. And yeah, I enjoyed it. With one thing about law is that there's no one answer.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's
there's no
true.
one answer. So in engineering, the answer is 0.1. That's it.
Standard. There's no navigating and all of that.
And it didn't help that adverts at that time, we didn't use calculators for maths.
What?
Yes.
Oh, you did. I think that's Zim style where you calculate on paper. Like there's no time for you to. It forces you to apply your mind.
So not having a calculator was like, you know. So with law, there's no one answer. As long as you know the theory, as long as you know what case law says, you can critique it. And that's what I noticed that when I was in varsity and started critiquing and showing understanding of what you studied, you get better marks.
Yes, that's true.
So if the answer is still black, you know, you can say, yes, the answer is black, but through my understanding, through applying this case, through applying the case law, this is not what the answer should be. And that's what shows critical thinking.
Yes.
And that creativity law has that no other career has, apart from maybe drawing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I love that. So now, Nem, you decide on your birthday that, you know what, this is not going to work. I'm failing. I'm going to chase my dream. Do you then just walk out of class, or do you like just finish that month? Like, I want the specifics of from that day and you going to deliver the news home, and what was the reaction like?
Yeah, so I grew up, like I said, I grew up in the township. So even though I said, no, I'm done. I decided I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I still continued staying in Bram. so that I could apply for UJ, so I could get my things for the coming year in order. I called my mom and was like, yo, it's not working.
Sure.
And they're like, yeah, come back home, yeah. I was like, no, I'm staying here. So I applied. When I realized that I'm leaving this thing, I just applied at UJ. Luckily enough, I got that orange carpet bursary.
Yeah, I also got that
So my
too.
first year was
smooth sailing.
yeah. So got that. And I tried applying for bursaries. Unfortunately,
It wasn't working out.
It's too late, My birthday is in September.
It's already at the end of the year and all of that. Sure.
Yeah, so there were no bursaries available, but Orange Carpet helped me out. And yeah, I just had to sit my family down and be like, yo,
this is what's up.
I tried and it's not working. And like I said, the privilege of having understanding parents who were like, yeah, you tried. We don't know what you were doing because this wasn't you.
Yeah.
You always liked, I did public speaking, debate and stuff like that. So they didn't understand. But money, we're trying to chase that money. But they understood and they supported me. And I'm really thankful for that.
Oh, I love that. I commend your parents. And like if there's a parent that ever watches this, I hope that this is a learning moment, that just because your child is failing at something, it doesn't mean they're incapable of pursuing something else. So sometimes, yes, scold, because a parent that spares the road is going to have problems. But in your scolding, be supportive and do it in love, because then that way it creates a safe space for your children to be able to confide in you, to be able to share their other interests and stuff like that. So now, what is the biggest lesson you learned from that moment of going for something you didn't like and having to pivot?
Yeah. So when you do that, you realize that this is your last chance. I don't think I could come back to my parents again and be like,
try it again.
Pivoting again. So it was my last chance and I had to go all in. But one thing about me that I realized, and I'm thankful that I'm no longer doing, hopefully, I've always been one of those kids at school who are like the top students, You don't have to try hard. You just pitch up, everything is fine. At Wits, I was like, okay, I'm trying hard and still failing, but my heart is not in it. Then I did something I liked, and I thought because I'm smart.
Those law exams will show you flames. That's what I thought as well.
So I thought it's going to be easy. I'm just going to get in, study the day before and stuff like that. And it's not like that. It doesn't. And also another thing I'm thankful for is I had friends who actually pulled me in and be like, nah, man, like you're smart. You're smart.
Yes, but you need to put in the effort.
Yeah, you need to put in the effort. And that's what that whole thing taught me. You can be smart. And there's a lot of people who are smart, but are not where they want to be.
Sure.
Because the hard work, also with timing. Let's say I didn't have that orange carpet bursary, I don't think I'd still be where I was now, where I am now, because it's luck, hard work, and there's being smart. So it's a combination of all those things.
Yeah.
So in everything I do, I always say, okay, I'm going to work hard, but look at my privilege, how lucky I am to be in that space. So that's that whole thing. Hard work plus luck goes a long way.
Okay. So also what I'm getting is that being intelligent doesn't give you a free pass in life. Yeah. You can pass and be as yourself through things, but you can never cheat the hard-working part. Yeah. Like you can always tell a product of a person that works hard and a product of a person who BS'd themselves through stuff. So it's always important to know that no matter how intelligent you are, you still need to put in the hard work, right? Don't take things for granted, right? Because also intelligence or smartness is relative. And I always say that the brain is a muscle. Yeah. You need to keep training it. Yeah. So if you're not pushing that muscle further, yes, you are grade 12 intelligent, but you're no longer intelligent at university level.
Yes, sorry to jump in, but that's what they said. I remember during engineering, which the statistic is true. They said, look left, look right. One of you is not going to pass in record
Sure.
time. And actually, that stat was wrong because if I look back at the people I started with, out of 400 people, only not a lot, like maybe less than 40 passed in record time.
Yeah.
So, and to get into engineering, you have to be really smart. You know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's
if you
not
don't put
everybody
in the
that
work,
pass.
you're going to.
You know, actually, I don't know if Mr. Hanacom is still at UJ or was still at UJ when you started. He also said this a similar thing to us during our first year. What was that? That is that induction or something like that first orientation week. He said to us, it's like 600 and something of you right now in class. In second year, it's going to be 400 and something. Third year, it's going to be 300 and something. By the time you graduate, only 40% of the class is going to graduate.
Yeah.
And he was right. He didn't lie. You know, some people drop out because of other reasons, not failing, but there's just a lot of life circumstances. And I think one of the things that I've learned is life is going to happen, right? But don't be a participant in sabotaging your dreams and your aspirations. You do everything within your control to make sure that you're not sabotaging and let other issues sabotage you if they may.
Yeah, and that's where hard work comes in. Let's say NS drops you, which it did in my final year.
Sure.
You put yourself in a position through hard work, you know, through your marks, through studying so hard that even if NS drops you, you can get a buzz ring.
Sure.
You know? So even if circumstances happen, just work hard in a manner that you put yourself in a position where you can blame other people and not yourself.
Yes,
You know?
sure.
So you can say, it's not my fault.
Yeah, it's the government.
Yeah, it's the government, you know. It's the government. So, and as a person who's always been the hardest critic, you know, and I think that's how most people are. You know yourself fully. You know that I didn't study. I could have studied more. I didn't study, and you're going to be harsh on yourself.
Sure.
So put yourself in a position where you can't even be that harsh to yourself and be like, I did everything possible, and circumstances just didn't let me. So
Yeah, love that. Then now you get accepted by UJ. At UJ, how was your experience like?
I come in from engineering at Wits, you know, I go to the high school down the road.
Yes. Wow.
So I go to the high school down the road and I'm like, it's going to be easy.
Yeah.
It was not easy. And it's that humbling thing where you get, I think I got 40 for my, is it law of persons or family law? It was in the end of the year, I think it was family law. And I had to get like 60.
You had to fight.
Just to pass.
Yes.
And I remember studying so hard, waking up at 3, studying, going to campus, studying. I studied for like 4 days straight without rest. And I passed. I got a great mark. And it was a great feeling, you know. And I was like, oh my God, I need this feeling more.
Yes.
You know?
Takes you on a high.
So I was mediocre in my first year.
Sure.
Very mediocre. And then that family law scenario, not wanting to put yourself in that position where you need a miracle.
Yes, you need God to come down from his throne.
You know, you need a miracle to pass. And working so hard and that thrill, you know, studying, and when the marks come and you're like, oh my God, I need this high, you know. Second year, it was that throughout. Studied. Got distinctions. Oh, I need this feeling.
Love
more
that.
often. Third, studied. COVID.
Okay. And then now you have to be at home.
You have to be at
and
home.
you have to pivot around that as well, because now we're used to a system where we're going to campus. Now you're studying from wherever you are.
Yeah. Now, how do you study when everyone is around, you know? And I got COVID. I got the original COVID. You see, when
The first phases
from Italy.
when it landed.
That one from Italy.
Were you at the airport?
That's the one. So I got COVID from Italy, and it nearly took me out.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, it was bad. And imagine having to study through that. And I'm that one person who's always like, I'm not sick. I'm not sick.
It's not that deep.
It's, yeah, what's this headache? I have migraines all the time.
Yeah.
This is nothing. So having to study through that, it pushes you. And my experience was one of a kind.
It was one of a
It was
kind.
one of a kind. You have to study. You have to do exams when you are timed. Do you remember? I don't know
Yes.
if you are timed. If you close your laptop, it's child.
Yes. One mistake, network glitch, it's over.
over.
Now you have to be emailing the deans of the deans and everything like
so,
that. Sure.
That experience, it's one of those things. But also, it was that having to work in a situation where you're not accustomed to.
Yes. Being adaptable.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you're like, everything is a lesson. And I took that as a lesson whereby I'm like, okay, this working from home, this working from home before working from home became cool, So working from home, studying, trying to balance, seeing your family, closing yourself in a room, studying, trying to contact lecturers because lecturers are now separated from you.
Sure.
It's no longer easy. It's not easy.
Can't just go to D ring 7 and be like, hey, can I come consult
As if
and
it
stuff?
was easy going to D ring 7.
It wasn't at all.
As if, I don't even know who designed that building.
Yo,
Like, you get lost so easily.
Engineers and stuff. How they even built it, it's just
You
messy.
see? So it's not easy just being that close to your lecturers. And there was property. Now,
Yeah. Property.
studying property during COVID.
Sure.
So it's that hard scenario. Then you have to go back to campus when the lockdown. Well, it wasn't campus. Go back to res when lockdown eased. And you now have to balance not going partying, and that social life is dead. Now it's just studying. And so those scenarios, you just teach yourself. You take a lesson out of everything that happens, and that's my personal philosophy. Everything that happens is a lesson. So yeah, it was hard. UJ was hard. There's this, like, as somebody who went to Wits, it's a high school down the road. It's easy. It's not.
It's not easy, guys. Like, we produce top tier graduates, so it must be hard.
Yeah. So, but one thing I'm thankful for UJ is that it does reward hard work.
Yeah.
If you work hard, you're going to get the results. They're not out there to trick you.
Sure.
Yeah. So, it's one thing that I learned is, like, if you work hard, you're going to get the results. You can become at ease of mind. You can go into exam and be like, whatever happens, happens. But I know that I won't come back with an 18 on my birthday.
Yes, sure.
So yeah, UJ was a great experience, and I'm thankful for what it taught me and the people that it got. I was around. Everyone was so hardworking. Everyone was so, like, they wanted to achieve something.
Sure.
It forces you to just man up.
To want better for yourself.
It forces you when you see somebody's hard work paying for them. You're like, actually, I want that.
Yeah.
And you get that for yourself. And yeah, I'm very thankful for you, Jay. And that day, that 18% on my birthday, very thankful for, because
in hindsight, you think about it, I'm glad it happened.
I'm very glad it happened.
Okay.
Because, I don't think things would happen as
they did.
Yeah.
Sure. So now, before we go into your actual career, would you prefer studying from home or studying, like, going to physical classes or digital classes?
One thing, I prefer being physical.
Okay.
Yeah. No, when you're physical, when you're in class, and I bet 2019, 2020, 2021 cat is looking and be like, oh, just win. But being in class, that's something you won't have. It forces you to pay attention.
Yes.
It forces you to pay attention, to be in the moment. When you're at home, you just look at your phone. You get distracted easily. When you're at the classroom, it's so easy to just approach the lecturer. Even you're not holding everyone. If we are in class in Zoom and that one person is busy asking questions, hey, Chief, we're trying to leave. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But in class, you can just be by yourself, and the lecturer knows you. They see your face,
Sure.
And it makes it easier when you have a question and you don't understand. You can go after hours.
You can interact and all of that.
Like, yes, you remember in class I asked you this question. I went back, I studied it, still don't understand what's going on.
Sure.
Being at home, you are so far removed from that whole experience and the networking with other people, being
Sure.
close to students who understand work, So it robs you of so many things. And that's what I noticed also when we were studying from home
Yeah.
and classes were digital. It robbed you from so much
Yeah.
networking and so much, that
Human interaction
yes,
and connection. Yeah.
And it's, when you're staying at home and you have to go to the library, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Love that. So you would rather, you said interactive classes and physical classes
yes, but
rather
work
than
from home.
work from home, definitely.
Oh, yes, work from home. Yes,
Yeah.
we can do that.
I hear you.
But study from the office.
Okay, so now you've went through your LLB degree. Did you know the options available with the law degree? What were your plans? Yes, I want to study law, but what am I going to do? Am I going to be an advocate? Am I going to be a lawyer? Like, attorney, what was the plan?
I feel after I just praised you, Jay, I don't know, maybe it's me. Maybe I missed that class where they talked about the options that are available. I just thought everyone is a lawyer. I just thought that you get an LLB, you become a lawyer. There's no difference between an advocate. There's no difference between an attorney. You're just a lawyer, And maybe I missed that class. I don't want to blame. Probably it's that day where I slept.
Just to defend my favorite institution, I don't think it's a UJ thing. I've said with other people as well. I think it's a curriculum thing whereby even in the profession, you would see that they don't talk about compliance officers as much. They talk about advocates, attorneys, because it's almost as if our minds are supposed to be directed that way. And then also with UJ, I know that I didn't attend those because I was just also not in deep with extracurricular activities. I know that they would call in law firms.
Yeah.
So law firms would explain what they do. I think in first year there were people that came, but all I remember we had Advocate Ngubakaitobi, we had Big Five law firms, and then we had someone from the CCMA, right? But it wasn't as broad then because you think everybody